Consider supporting DanDanTheFireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. I got this great view. I am like sweating though. It's June and it's hot. So I wanted to talk to you about something though, very serious, something very important, is must-have tools to maintain your motorcycle. Now, the reason why I do this is because you really don't want to spend a ton of money at the dealership. They call Harley-Davidson a dealership for a reason. It's expensive to get your oil changed, expensive to do some things, but there's also some things that you definitely have to take it to the shop for. But there's a lot of stuff that you could do at home, in the garage, in an apartment complex. I changed out my clutch at an apartment complex. There's things that you can do, but we're gonna be talking about that. It's gonna be, you know, how to check your fluids, check tire pressure, changing your oil, that kind of stuff. All right, but guys, if you want to see more beginner tips, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, please click that subscribe button right next to this notification bell button. It really helps with the channel. I'd love to have you here as part of the community. And let's go and jump into it. Let's just go and talk about it. Let's jump into it. All right, so first off, you're going to need a wrench and socket set. Now, the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of stuff on your bike that there's a lot of bolts, there's a lot of screws, there's a lot of, you know, nuts that you're going to have to grab, and you're going to need more than one sometimes when it comes to taking it off, you know. If you've been anywhere near a tool set, you're gonna understand that you're gonna need more and more tools. So anyways, I got this wrench and socket set that I found on Amazon. It's really good, and I think it's like almost $100, but it's gonna cover you on almost everything you're gonna need. One thing that I did do, and I'm gonna mention this again at the end of the video, is that I started piecing things together. I went to Walmart, I'd get like a socket set that I needed, so it'd be like 10 bucks. And like at that time, it's like, man, I just need to get this. Boom, did it. And then like the next time I installed something, it's like, crap, I don't have it. So I went to Walmart, got another thing for $10. So at the end of the day, I still spent closer to $100-something on a bunch of tools. So if I just got this from the beginning, boom, I would have been done. I would have been cleared when it came to it. Plus, it's all nice and neat and organized now. So anyways, so you're gonna need a wrench and socket set. Like I said, links to all the stuff that I'm recommending is going to be in the description. So if you want to check out and see what I'm talking about, click that link in the description. It'll take you to Amazon, and it'll show you what it is exactly I'm talking. Plus, I'll have pictures and stuff up here. All right, so you're definitely going to need a torque wrench. Harley, the service manual that I have, that's another great thing. It's not in the list. Is to get a service manual for your bike. You're going to want that. It's different than owner's manual. You're going to want a service manual. Let's go left. You're definitely going to want that. So that way you know the torque specs. That way you know what to repair. But anyways, you're gonna need a torque wrench though in order for you to torque down the bolts to the spec that they're supposed to be at. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna tighten it down as hard as I can. You could probably break something, and it's not supposed to be like that. So what I have in the description is a link to a digital readout one, and I prefer digital just because I'm pretty dumb when it comes to all this stuff. It actually makes it a lot easier for me, and I prefer digital. They do have the manual click ones that you're able to do, and I had one of those, and I didn't know what to do. I honestly didn't. I didn't feel like I was doing it right, and but that's just because I'm stupid. But you can get it cheaper. You can get it's about half the price, if not less, if you just get the click and you don't get the digital readout. But I like the digital, so I'm linking to a digital torque wrench. And you're definitely going to need one because you are going to have to torque things down to spec. If you don't do it, it's going to be unsafe. It's going to be really unsafe. So the next one I wanted to bring up, and this is actually really big. It's something that's not super needed, but it's definitely something that has made my life way better, is a motorcycle lift and jack. Or jack, whatever it is. It's a motorcycle lift. Now, you can get super duper expensive and get like this super hydraulic lift that lifts the whole motorcycle up to your face so you can work on it without bending over. I can't afford that. Those are expensive. You need a garage for that. So what I have is just a rolling one, and it does a 1,500-pound motorcycle jack or ATV jack, and it works for me. The thing is with motorcycles, your motorcycle's pretty low, so you need to find one that can actually fit underneath your bike. And so what I have a link in the description, is the one I have. It actually moves, but I don't know if it's available right now or whatnot, but if you find anything like that, my original one I had was at Harbor Freight, so any 1,500-pound motorcycle ATV jack will pretty much work. So if you find one locally, good for you. It's probably best because shipping and everything, but definitely get one of those because you do not want to be working on your bike just with its kickstand. because when I was changing out the clutch on my bike, I didn't have this jack at the time, and man, it was a pain in the ass because the bike was leaning over, and I had to get the clutch pack in there, but it was leaning on that side, so it kept falling out. It was just a pain in the ass. If it was more vertical, it wouldn't have fallen out because of gravity. When you're changing your oil, you want to have your bike more vertical because, you know, the fluid levels, you don't want it leaning to the side. It's just like, you do need a jack. Plus, if you're going to change your shocks, you need to have a jack. I needed the jack because I needed to take my left shock off so I could put the relocation for the license plate on. So I needed a jack to do that. There's a lot of things that you need to lift your bike up for, and might as well just go get one. It's it's great. It's gonna make things a lot easier. It's gonna make things a lot easier if you have a motorcycle jack. Now this next one's gonna be, it's pretty cheap. It's a cheap one to get. It's a small tire pressure gauge. This one everybody should have anyways. I have one in my Burley Brand's saddlebags. I actually keep it on right here. I used to keep it in my backpack, but I don't wear my backpack anymore because I have these. And it's really cheap, 10 bucks. And just check your tire. Leave it next to the motorcycle, or leave it in like your jacket pocket. Like if you have an interior jacket pocket, leave it in there. It should be tiny enough to where it's not going to cause any problems. Check your tires before a ride. Check your tires when you go to the gas station. If you have to fill it up, fill it up. Really good to have because you don't want to have that uneven wear and tear on your tires. Plus, if you have your tires properly inflated, it's actually a lot safer. So definitely get this. Of all the things on this list, get this first, okay? Now you're gonna need a tool chest. Now, a tool chest is really good to have because at the end of the day, you start collecting more because like you're gonna get some Loctite, you're gonna get, you know, a bunch of different nuts and bolts just in case like one snaps or you want to replace it or you bought extras. You're gonna want to have all that. Plus, you know, you're probably gonna get like a rubber mallet and that tool chest. I mean, not tool chest, but the tool pack that I talked about, the wrench and socket kit, doesn't have room for that stuff. So you're gonna need an actual tool chest. Now, this is something that I have that's very similar. I have something very similar to this. I got it at I believe Walmart, but this one's here on Amazon. It's the same company, same everything. It's basically what I have. It's where you pop it open, you can roll it. So it's really nice. When I'm still living in the apartment, I'm able to take it downstairs and roll it with me. It's not like those big, heavy red ones or those black ones meant for garages. This one's meant to actually be rolled around and taken with you. Plus, it disconnects, and you can take just the top part. So it's really nice. I love it. I sit on the bottom part when I'm working, so I have something to sit on. So it has multiple uses. Plus, you start collecting a bunch of different tools. It's not just the wrench and socket set. You're gonna have a bunch of different tools. Like I still have my clutch compression ring in my tool chest, just in case my clutch pops out again. I have it, or I might just sell it again. I don't know. But you're gonna want to have a tool chest. It's really important to have one, just so you can have some organization. You don't want to have tools flying around everywhere. It's really good to have. Now there's some miscellaneous stuff to have, some niceties, some nice things to have. Is nitrile gloves. You don't want to have a bunch of oily fingers. What I would do is I put a put nitrile gloves, like the blue EMS gloves, stuff you see in the hospital, and then I'd put another set on top. So I'd be working, boom, take that one off, put another set on. That way my hands were always with gloves. And I know some of you are like, man, get your fingers dirty, get your hands dirty. It's nice to have your hands dirty, but it also sucks to have oil in between your fingers for like the next week. You know, it sucks to have to like touch your phone and you have oily fingers. You know what I mean? If you need to like look something up, or you're trying to touch like the instructions and you have oily ass fingers. So having a pair of gloves is really nice. Having a box of gloves is really nice. The oil filter wrench. Some of you don't have I have a K&N filter, and I keep seeing some like bad stuff about it because it has the socket, so you can take it off with just a regular wrench. A lot of people are saying that's not good. I haven't had any issues. I've been using these for like 3 years now. And so I'm able to just take it off with a wrench and socket. But sometimes you don't have that, so you can either get an oil filter wrench to where it's like it looks like a claw and it grabs and you're able to pull. What I've always done, or not what I've done before when I didn't have this kind, is I just got duct tape and I wrapped the the oil filter and I just cranked it. So the duct tape allowed me to have a better grip. So I just wrapped the duct tape and just. So it should be that tight. The thing is, you don't tighten these things super tight to where you can't take them off. But for some reason, they always get tight when you're riding because all the compression, I bet. You're also going to want hex driver bits instead of Allen wrenches. You know those Allen wrenches, because you have to like do that. Because sometimes there was a time when I had to actually used the hex driver bits with like a long ass extension to get my exhaust on. And there's a few things in here that it's like you can't get a Allen key in or an Allen wrench, so you're definitely going to want hex driver bits. And then with that wrench and socket kit, you're going to have those extensions, and you can actually get to where you need to go. And it's a lot easier because you're having to do it manually versus, you know, the ratchet. You know, it's a lot better to have that. You're going to need an oil pan, and I've seen some really crazy recommendations to get one that, you know, captures the oil and you can just leave the oil in there. And it's like, no, I don't. If that's not what I'm gonna do, because they're like 20 bucks, and it's like now you're spending 20 bucks on an oil pan that captures the oil, and sometimes they're just too high. And that's one of the problems I was having, is that they're just too big and you won't fit underneath the motorcycle. So what I do is I just go to AutoZone. I go to AutoZone, and the cool thing is, at least the ones that I've been to, is that they have like an oil change kit, and it's got a pan, and it's like 4 or 5 inches tall. But then inside the kit, it comes with like some orange pumice soap, and then like a bunch of rags and a bunch of other stuff, a funnel. So I mean, and it's like cheaper than just buying. It's like 10 bucks, and I do that when I change my oil. So I would just get that. I would go there, find something cheap, but you definitely need to find an oil pan that will actually fit underneath your bike. And that's one of the bigger issues when it comes to motorcycles, that you're not going to find a lot of oil pans that will fit underneath the bike, because the oil pans are designed really to fit underneath a car, and there's a lot more clearance with a car or a truck. But yeah, all these things are really important to have, because at the end of the day, you might spend like 400 bucks. Let's say you spend $400, $350, $400 on tools and all this miscellaneous stuff, okay? When I took my bike to get an oil change, just an oil change, it wasn't like a 10,000 mile service, it wasn't 5,000 mile service, it wasn't any of that stuff, just an oil change, because I didn't know what I was doing, and this is what kind of drove me to do this. I went in and took it, and it cost me like 300 bucks because of labor. The parts and stuff, not that much, but like close to 300 bucks. Plus I had to drop my bike off. I had to find travel to get somewhere else, because it took them like 8 hours or 4 hours, something like that. It was ridiculous. And it's like 300 bucks. It's like, no, that's dumb. I don't want to pay that. So at the end of the day, what's up, buddy? At the end of the day, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I went and bought my own oil. I bought my own oil filters. I spent 80 bucks on 2 oil changes worth of oil filters and oil. And man, I changed it myself within like 10 minutes. I've posted those videos, and I've messed up a few times. If you want to check out how I changed my oil and all that stuff, I messed up, and YouTube's been a great resource in how to do it. And I still did it. I changed my clutch because of YouTube videos. Changed my clutch. That would have been $1,000 at Harley. I did it for like 200. All because I had my own set of tools. So if you have your own set of tools and you have time and patience, and I'm not mechanically inclined, so if I could do it, you could do it. If you have your own set of tools, you're definitely gonna be able to do it. And you're gonna save yourself some money. You're gonna save yourself so much money in the long run. Plus you get more intimate with your bike, you start, you know, figuring it out. And there's been times where I have taken my bike to Harley or to Indian. I'm not gonna change my own tire. That's just a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. So some of you guys that might be able to do it, I'm not gonna change my own tire. I'll pay someone to do that. So I'll probably pay Indian Motorcycle Tucson to do it. I've had an issue where my inner tube broke, and the same thing, I had to take my tire off, do all that stuff. So Harley picked up my bike. Sometimes electrical work, can't figure it out, we'll let Harley do it. There's times and places for that, but when it comes to just changing your oil, checking your pressure, you know, changing your clutch oil, your transmission oil and all that stuff, you can do it yourself. And with these tools, you definitely can. All right, so I started going off on a little rant on towards the end, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Those are some really good tips and some some tools to get you going. And hopefully I was able to bring some value to you, to your day on this Monday. And with that said, though, I'm gonna go ahead and head home. I want you guys to ride safe, be safe, and take care of your bike. You know, take care of your bike and get some of these tools. At least get like some wrenches and sockets. That way you can tighten things down if you have to. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to go to Harley, or you shouldn't have to go to your dealership just so they can tighten down some bolts that you found that's a little bit loose. You know? All right, guys. With that said, like I said, ride safe, be safe. Bye.